Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone and welcome back to our daily learning series. Today is day 22-28 and we are diving into a powerful and timeless skill, the art of storytelling. Storytelling is not just about sharing tales, it's about connecting hearts, inspiring minds and leaving a lasting impact. Let's explore this amazing topic through some thoughtful questions with ChatGPT. We will welcome ChatGPT. Assalamu alaikum and welcome ChatGPT.
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm here and ready to help. What can I do for you today?
Thank you so much. Uh,
You're
ChatGPT,
very,
I have a topic, the
of
art
course.
of storytelling. Uh, so I
Uh,
want to some questions asking with you.
Absolutely. Storytelling is such a powerful art form. What kind of aspects are you thinking about? Like how to craft a strong narrative, or maybe how to evoke emotion, or something else?
So may I start my question?
That sounds great. So you'd like to dive into the art of storytelling for a speech or presentation, like maybe how to engage an audience, structure a compelling plot, or add emotion? Do you have a specific theme or audience in mind for your talk?
So my first question is what is storytelling and why is it important?
That's a fantastic starting point. You could explain that storytelling is basically the art of using narratives, characters, plots, and emotions to convey ideas. And it's crucial because it helps us connect with others, remember lessons, and even shape cultures. You can tie it to human history, how stories have always been the way we pass down wisdom and values. That would give them a solid foundation.
How does storytelling help in communication?
Ooh, great follow up. You can explain that storytelling helps us organize information in a way that's relatable and memorable. When we tell a story, people don't just hear facts, they feel them. So it breaks down barriers, sparks empathy, and makes complex ideas way easier to grasp.
What makes a story engaging and memorable?
Great question. So, a truly engaging story usually has a clear structure, like a beginning, middle, and end, along with relatable characters, a bit of conflict or tension, and vivid sensory details. When the audience feels connected to the characters or the stakes, they get pulled in, and that makes the story stay with them.
How can storytelling inspire people?
That's a beautiful point. Storytelling inspires by showing us what's possible. When we see characters overcome challenges or pursue dreams, it sparks something inside us. It gives us courage, hope, and a vision for our own potential. So, a well told story can light that spark in others.
What are the key elements of a good story?
Yes, exactly. So, the key elements often include a strong hook to grab attention, relatable characters who face challenges, a vivid setting that draws you in, a clear conflict or tension, and an emotional payoff. Plus, a purposeful theme or message that leaves the audience with something to reflect on.
Okay. How does emotion play a role in storytelling?
Emotions are really the heartbeat of a good story. When a story taps into emotions, whether it's joy, fear, hope, or sadness, it creates a deeper connection. People remember stories that make them feel something, and that emotional resonance stays with them long after the story ends.
Why do people connect more than stories than facts?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. Stories kind of bypass our defenses. They don't just tell us what to think, they let us experience something firsthand. So instead of just hearing facts, we live them through the characters. And that emotional journey is way more personal.
How can storytelling improve? Uh,
Ooh, great follow up. Storytelling can really influence opinions, drive action, and shape culture. By connecting with people on a personal level, a story can shift perspectives, inspire change, or even spark a movement. So it's a really powerful tool for impact.
what is the role of a storyteller?
Great focus. The role of a good storyteller is really to be a guide. They take the audience on a journey, whether it's through imagination, emotion, or insight. They help us see the world differently, and often they give us a sense of shared humanity.
How can you structure a powerful story?
Good idea. So, a solid structure usually starts with a hook to grab attention, then introduces a clear setup, your characters in the world. After that, you build tension or conflict, let the stakes rise, and then resolve it with a satisfying conclusion. Keeping that flow helps your audience stay engaged and really follow the emotional arc.
What is the importance of a strong beginning in a story?
Ooh, a strong belief usually hinges on authenticity and passion. When a storyteller truly believes in what they're doing, that conviction comes through in the tone, the details, and the way they connect with the audience. That sincerity makes the belief feel real and it draws people in.
Okay. How can you keep your audience interested throughout the story?
Ah, that's a key one. You can keep them engaged by using vivid details, varying your pacing, and asking rhetorical questions. Also, let your passion show. If you're excited, they're more likely to stay hooked. And keep it interactive. Invite them to reflect or relate the story to their own lives.
How can personal experience influence storytelling?
Ah, that's a really powerful technique. Personal experiences make a story so much more authentic and relatable. When you share a real moment, your own struggles or triumphs, it invites the audience to see themselves in your story. And that shared humanity really deepens the impact.
What are some common storytelling mistakes to avoid?
Ooh, yeah. So some common ones would be lacking a clear structure, so the story feels meandering, or being too vague, no specific details. Another mistake is either overloading with too much information or not connecting the story to a clear theme or message. Keeping it balanced and purposeful is key.
How can storytelling be used in teaching and education?
Ah, that's a really great application. In education, storytelling makes concepts come alive. Instead of just memorizing facts, students remember them through relatable narratives. You can explain abstract ideas with personal or historical stories, and it keeps them engaged and curious.
What are some how can storytelling be used in teaching and education?
Yeah, absolutely. So, storytelling in education can be used to introduce new topics, build empathy, or even guide students through problem solving. When you frame a lesson through a story, like a historical figure's journey or a scientific discovery, it makes the learning so much more personal and memorable. Oh, that's a big one. In marketing and business, storytelling really humanizes a brand. It helps customers connect on an emotional level. So instead of just seeing a product, they see a story they can relate to. And that drives loyalty, engagement, and even word of mouth.
How can you use storytelling to motivate a team?
Ah, great point. You can use storytelling to illustrate real life examples of success, people who overcame challenges or reached their goals. When your team sees someone like them achieving something big, it ignites hope and drive. Plus, it reminds them why their work matters, which is super motivating.
What is the difference between a good story and a great story?
Ooh, that's a really interesting distinction. So, a good story is all about structure, character, and emotional impact. It has a clear purpose. A creative story, though, might push boundaries, experimenting with form, style, or perspective. Both can be powerful, but they serve slightly different purposes.
How can body language support storytelling?
Oh, absolutely. Body language is a huge support. When you use gestures, facial expressions, and movement, you bring the story to life. It helps emphasize key moments, keeps the audience engaged, and it adds a whole extra layer of meaning.
How can storytelling build emotional connections?
Yeah, so storytelling builds emotional connections by letting people see themselves in the story. When they identify with a character's journey or feel the stakes, they care more. And that emotional resonance creates trust, empathy, and a sense of shared humanity. So people really feel something.
What techniques can make your story more vivid and visual?
Yeah. So a few techniques would be adding sensory details, sights, sounds, smells to pull the audience in. You can also use vivid metaphors, a bit of pacing variation, and of course, real emotional stakes. So the audience really feels the highs and lows with you.
Last one. Why is storytelling considered a powerful tool for change?
Yeah, absolutely. Stories have this unique power to open people's hearts and minds. They make complex issues personal and urgent. When people see themselves in a story, it can challenge assumptions, spark empathy, and motivate them to take action. So it really drives meaningful change.
Thank you so much, Chatgpt. So, storytelling is more than just words. It's a bridge between ideas and emotions. When you master your storytelling, you gain the power to inspire, influence, and connect with others deeply. Keep practicing, keep sharing your stories, and keep making an impact. Thank you for joining today's session. See you in the next one. Allah Hafiz, and thank you, ChatGPT, and Allah Hafiz.
You're very welcome. I really enjoyed this conversation. Keep telling those stories, and I'm excited to see how you keep inspiring others. Take care, and Allah Hafiz.